Michael Hutchinson from BloodyElbow.com here with the UFC light heavyweight champion Daniel Cormier. Daniel, thanks for doing this, first of all.
No problem, man. Thank you, guys.
No problem. You were just training with Rico Verhoeven, the Glory heavyweight champion. What were your thoughts on him coming into the gym, kind of getting a feel of him?
Well, I mean, it's a blessing. You know, I didn't expect it. So when Javier told me that he was coming, it was great. You know, get as much work with him as I can in the time that he's here, so that I can try to make some improvements. And these improvements don't happen overnight, but it's a matter of me taking some of the things that I'm learning from him and Coach and applying it to what I do in my training camp.
And what were your first thoughts on him when yesterday he came and did a little bit of kickboxing, and then today he kind of went into your world in the wrestling? How did he differ between each day?
Well, I mean, he obviously yesterday, you know, with the kickboxing, it's what he does. You know, he could do that all day long. Very uncomfortable, to say the least. But especially later, the longer we went, the worse it got, because he started to understand and find my patterns, find some of the things that I do regularly and counter off of it. So it made it very difficult to go with him. But, you know, it was great. You know, it was a great learning experience. You know, I mean, in 6 years, that is the best striker that's ever stepped foot in this gym. And it's awesome to have. Today in the wrestling, obviously, he's young. You know, you see the difference a day makes from fighting where he's completely comfortable to fighting where I'm completely comfortable. There's a big difference.
And would you say that he's a very coachable guy? Because you got to teach him a little bit. Do you think that he's a guy that would have a good time at this gym because he's a guy who's easy to develop?
Yeah, I mean, you know, these are the type of guys that he would be further ahead than the rest of us, because we had no striking. We had just wrestling. So if we could teach him some wrestling, you know, he doesn't need much. He needs to learn to defend his legs, to defend shots. Once we would teach him that, I think he would be okay. You know, so with the striking that he already has, if he has the ability to stay upright, I mean, he's a handful for anyone, man. The guy has unbelievable timing, unbelievable cardio, great power, punches in combination. He's got a really good mind for the sport. But yeah, he's very coachable. And I think that's because he's a good guy in terms of relating and verbalizing what he's trying to improve in your game too. The best coaches are people that actually can receive instruction and give instruction. And I think Rico fits that mold. He's very good at receiving instruction in areas he's not so good at, but he's amazing at giving instruction in the areas that he's a pro at. He's very good at.
And how big would it be for AKA to get a guy like Rico coming into the gym, maybe full-time, to start training as his full-time MMA camp?
It'd be huge. It'd be huge for me. It'd be huge for Kane. It'd be huge for Luke Rockhold. You know, I mean, it's hard to imagine that, you know, it could get better, being that we have each other. But a guy like Rico would fit right in. And not only us, I mean, Ruslan Magomedov, you know, it would help him. It would help every guy that we have that's over 185 pounds, because he seems as though he has the ability to work with you even though you might be smaller than him, and you still get some good training.
And obviously you have a big fight with Jon Jones coming up. What did you get to learn from Rico that you can put in towards the fight?
There are a couple things. Obviously, you know, we're still 11 weeks from the fight, 10 and a half. So I'm not going to go telling some of the things that we've learned. But you know what, man? I think I take a lot of stuff from him defensively more than offensively. Offensively, there are some things that we had success in with Jon in the first fight and some things that we weren't successful at. So we will approach that as a team. But defensively, he can show me things that we don't really see on a day-to-day basis. And I think that will help us a lot more in preparation for Jones than him teaching us more offensive stuff. I need to learn how to defend in order to accomplish my goal on April 23rd, and Rico's helping me do that.
And Coach Mendez was talking about before the video that came out of Jones doing that kind of like flying knee attack things. Are those things that you're kind of worried about, him doing new things, or is it just business as usual?
For me, it's business as usual. You know, I felt the guy. I know he'll be better. He's always playing with stuff. You know, when we started fighting last time, he tried like a hook kick or something at the very beginning. So in training, a lot of those things seem as though they work. In competition, they may not. So I'm not worried about that, man. I think so many guys get caught up in trying to figure why that kick to the knee is not illegal and is he's going to hurt me. Or we're trying to hurt each other every single time we fight. So I'm not worried too much about it, man. You know, he can do whatever he wants to do. I know I just got to prepare myself to the best of my ability to accomplish this goal on April 23rd.
And you were talking also about how mentality is a big thing going into this fight. Do you think you're going to be able to go into the fight with a cool head knowing that Jones is going to try to pick at you for little things, kind of like the last time?
Yeah, you know, I mean, I think I can. To be insane is to do the same thing over and over again and expect a different result. I'm not insane. I have learned from my mistakes. On January 3rd, Jon fought a better fight than I did. He won because he was better. But there were ways that I did not allow myself to compete to the best of my ability. And a lot of that had to do with what he did. And I'm not going to engage in any of those things anymore. I want to give myself the best chance to win this fight. And I think I'm doing that.
Well, good luck in your fight against Jon Jones at UFC 198. Thanks for doing this.
197.
197 because everything changed.
Don't you go making people order the wrong pay-per-view.
Everything's changed
UFC
now.
197 live from the MGM Grand Garden Arena in Las Vegas, Nevada, the home of the UFC and the home of combat sports. Make sure you tune in. Don't miss it. It's going to be awesome.
There's a reason he's an analyst on Fox and I'm not. He's better at this than I am.